The world is changing. For decades, one country held a near monopoly on the critical materials that power our modern lives. That country is China. It controlled the mining, processing, and manufacturing of rare earth elements. These are the building blocks of everything from your smartphone to advanced military hardware. But that long-held dominance is now being challenged. Today, a new reality is taking shape. Western nations are making a deliberate and costly push to break that dependency. United States, United Kingdom, Canada, they are building a new supply chain from the ground up. This is not just about business or trade deficits. It is about national security. It is about economic stability. The stakes could not be higher. A disruption in the supply could cripple industries. It could compromise defense systems. The West has decided that risk is no longer acceptable. Money is moving. New laws are being written. Alliances are being formed. So, what exactly are rare earths? The name is a bit of a misnomer. They are a group of 17 metallic elements. You may have heard of some like neodymium, yttrium, lanthanum. They are not actually that rare in the Earth's crust. Some are more abundant than copper or lead. The real challenge is finding them in concentrations high enough to be mined economically. And even more difficult is the complex, dirty, and expensive process of separating them from their ores and refining them into high-purity metals and magnets. These elements are the secret sauce in much of our high-tech world. They are often used in small quantities, but their properties are unique and powerful. They make the magnets in electric vehicle motors and in wind turbines. They allow your smartphone to be so compact and your television to display vibrant colors. They are essential in fiber optic cables and medical imaging devices like MRI machines. Polishing powders make precision lenses for cameras and telescopes. Invisible workhorses of modern technology. Without a steady supply, many devices we rely on couldn't be produced. The transition to a green economy would stall. The digital economy would falter. Data centers depend on them. Communication networks depend on them. Consumer electronics depend on them. Their importance cannot be overstated. They are to the tech economy what steel was to the Industrial Revolution. Their role in national defense is just as critical, indispensable for guidance systems, advanced radar and sonar, fighter engines, drones, and secure communications. A nation without supply faces a serious vulnerability. How did one country come to dominate such a critical global market? China's supremacy was not an accident. It was the result of a deliberate, long-term industrial strategy. While other countries shuttered mines, China invested, leveraging low labor costs and looser environmental rules to undercut competitors. The strategy was brutally effective. China methodically built the entire supply chain, from mining, separating, and refining to manufacturing high-value products like permanent magnets. In 2010, after a dispute with Japan, China cut exports. Shockwaves rippled through supply chains and prices soared. By the 2020s, China did just 60% of mining, but controlled nearly 90% of processing, the West's key bottleneck. It built a toll booth on the global highway for high-tech manufacturing. The export crisis, rising tensions, and pandemic disruptions finally spurred the West into action. A consensus emerged. The strategic risk of over-reliance on China was too great to ignore. A new strategy, diversification, resilience, security, not cutting off China overnight, but building parallel supply chains among trusted allies. Government investment, guarantees, and defense contracts de-risk private projects, state-led push to counter state-subsidized pricing. Security is the primary driver. An adversary must not control materials for engines, missiles, and communications. Tools like the U.S. Defense Production Act fund projects treated as national defense infrastructure. Policy also targets high-paying jobs, more value captured on shore, cleaner mining, and advanced manufacturing. The aim isn't just to replace China, but to build a more sustainable, technologically advanced, and economically beneficial industry. Talk is cheap. The real test is mines and factories. In the United States, Mountain Pass has been revitalized. Crucially, downstream processing and magnet manufacturing are coming online, aiming for mine-to-magnet in the U.S. Canada has identified promising deposits. Nechalacho became its first rare earth mine, shipping concentrate to Saskatchewan. Ottawa provides funding and regulatory support to serve allies with raw and refined materials. The U.S. Department of Defense funds domestic processing capacity. Lynas received funding to build a heavy rare earth separation facility in Texas, targeting dysprosium and terbium, vital for high-performance magnets. The UK backs refineries, including a first-of-its-kind magnet refinery to feed EV and offshore wind industries. Mine in Canada and Australia, process in the US and UK, sell across the West. Beyond new holes in the ground, a second front, urban mining. E-waste is a trove of critical materials, including rare earths. Governments fund advanced recycling to build a circular economy, recover, refine, reuse. Recycling can lower toxic waste and reduce the industry's footprint. Separation from complex scrap is technically tough. Current volumes are small. Scaling to industrial levels takes years and capital. Innovation also targets demand, new magnets that use less neodymium or avoid heavy rare earths. Promising, but no silver bullet. For years to come, the world will still need large quantities of newly mined rare earths, while recycling and substitution build long-term resilience. No single Western country can replicate China's entire rare earth supply chain. The scale and costs are too high. The United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, Japan, and the EU are building a network of trusted suppliers, friendshoring. The Mineral Security Partnership identifies and fast-tracks strategic mining and processing projects. Trade is being rewritten to prioritize security and reliability over lowest cost. Canada and the US harmonize rules and integrate industrial bases. Australia supplies ore and intermediates to US and Japan. Company-to-company contracts stitch the web. Canadian miners to Texas processors to German automakers and US defense contractors. Slowly, old risky dependencies are replaced with secure partnerships. Mining developers, engineering and construction firms secure contracts. Projects create high-skilled jobs, from Canada's north to the Texas coast. But mines and refineries are capital-intensive and slow. Competing with state-subsidized Chinese producers is hard. Low prices can threaten Western viability without ongoing support. The burden on taxpayers and potential higher costs for EVs and electronics remain open questions. For defense, supply is non-negotiable. Metals, magnets, guidance materials, stealth coatings, and advanced sensors must be secured. Eliminating a critical vulnerability is itself a form of deterrence. The story of rare earths is the story of modern power. China built an empire on 17 elements. That era of unquestioned control is ending. Money is flowing, dirt is moving, alliances are solidifying. While China remains dominant, its monopoly has been broken, and a more diverse, more secure map is emerging.